We are back then, and we're bringing our vlog back, but together this time. That's separate YouTubes that we've attempted in the past. We thought, you know what, no one really in Australia is doing what we want to do, and we just want to give people an insight of how exciting and luxurious our lives are. But no, give you general insight on what we do and how we run the business and how we manage a parent life and athlete life and CEO life, I guess.
Especially with Matt finishing a competition and going back into a build phase, and then myself moving into a comp. I think a lot of people like to see how we juggle all the pieces of what we do. So yeah,
put it together. Yeah, it's a nice little transition. I've come out of comp and we're got this little bit of a fun stage together at the moment where we can sort of have a few relaxed meals, and then it's not going to be fun for Em, let's just say that. She goes into prep. So we yeah, today we've just dropped our daughter off to daycare, so we got her ready. She wasn't happy about going to daycare, was she? No. So how that works, we take turns in daycare duties. So one morning, we'll have set mornings where I take her to the school daycare, and mornings that Em does, because when we get up, one of us either is starting work doing calls or doing cardio or steps, depending on how we feel or what we have planned. So that's how we make that work. We have set days on who's doing what, and who's doing, whether that's morning pickup and afternoon pickup. And Emily will, generally it's not on the fridge at the moment, but she'll have like the week planner. So we know exactly who's got appointments when, what time, and who's on what duty. So that's done on a Sunday. So that's how we create our self-structure and make that work without getting upset at each other and fighting over who should be doing what. Plan this morning is, well, we're gonna go over for a coffee. Generally, well, Em, like I said, Em just dropped Luna off, and I usually done cardio right now. We have a coffee together at the beach before we get back over here and have meal one and get stuck into some work.
So this is the workspace. Mine is right here. I have the greenery right here. Matt is a very style workplace over there.
This is it. This is where it all happens when we run the business from. The headquarters, Kingvlogs headquarters.
Yeah.
Shit everywhere on my bench, don't mind that. Paperwork, drawings. So we're straight into Tokyo. We've got 5 nights in Tokyo. I've booked sumo wrestling experience. I think that's the first day we land with Emily and myself. Then we have a samurai experience where they dress us up in all the samurai gear and teach us the art of fighting and the history behind the samurai. And then we've got, I think we're go-karting, you know, the Mario. I think we're meant to be with Em's parents through like the main city part of Tokyo. I think it's called Shibuya.
Someone's going to correct us anyway, so. Hi. Can I get a iced latte, lactose-free with sugar-free vanilla, please?
So I'll have a hot one. I'll get just a large almond milk cappuccino with 2 shots of coffee, and I will get the sugar-free vanilla as well.
All right, I forgot to pay for it.
Brilliant.
So how important is like having a good morning routine?
Honestly, I think morning routines are overrated. I think some people can get really bogged down in like, I didn't do this, therefore I'm gonna feel like this, or I didn't get my meditation in, therefore I feel like crap today, or in my day. So like, we have like a very flexible morning kind of thing. Like, I just get up, I get Luna sorted, I take her to daycare, and then we can kind of do whatever we want in the morning. But
Morning routine thoughts.
Yeah, look, we're not one of those people that like do the cold plunge and the meditation, the breath work. I'm not saying that's not great, because it is. I'm sure it works for most people. But it depends what sort of night we've had. Like last night, Emily didn't sleep, Luna was up and randomly wanted to be up. So we get up and we get done what we need to. So it's, well, like I said, to get her sorted, and then it's like, do we have meeting, team calls, like marketing calls, or do we have time, like are we doing cardio? So
we try to do, like, I think the rule of thumb is like, we try to do like one little thing for ourselves, and that could just be like going for a walk or having a coffee, or even something smaller than that, like having a shower and just 10 minutes. For
Em, just having some time to herself to have a shower is a big deal. Most mums would know that, but I'm probably very fortunate because Em is very good. I get up and do what I need to do. I'm either up early and I'll go do cardio, or I've been swimming a lot because it's warm here, it's summer in Australia. So I come and have a swim, and I always have a coffee here. So I'll come and sit on the grass and ground myself. I like to touch the ground and sit on the grass. And that, I'm in a position to be able to do that as well. Not a lot of people are, but they have to get up and go straight to work. So we're very lucky there. In a way, we're lucky, but we're not.
I was going to say lucky. I don't think luck comes into it. We've worked really hard to put ourselves
in that position. So.
New Year's resolution. A lot of
starting up, setting big goals, and then failing them within a couple months. What are your thoughts on that?
I think first it's like setting realistic expectations, and like that's not to say don't dream big, because I think like having really big goals is really important, but also knowing the realistic steps to get there. Like that is the main thing, because goals and dreams are absolutely nothing without actual steps and actions, and that's where people come undone. They're like, I want to lose 20 kilos, but then they don't have a coach, they don't know the steps, they aren't willing to change their daily habits to get there.
Don't understand nutrition.
Yeah, so
no
like
steps in place.
It's good to go, I have this really big goal, and then go, okay, I don't know the steps, but I'm going to find out the steps, and I'm going to go to someone that does know the steps. Or it could be like, I want to save for a house. A lot of people have this one as well, and I think then they go doing their same weekly shit of buying stuff online or going out on the weekend and dropping $400. Like, yes, dream big, but also be realistic about the steps that you need to do in order to get there as well.
And then accountability, like if you've set a goal and you've set a realistic goal and you've got the steps in place and how to achieve that goal, maybe try and do that with a loved one, whether it's your partner or a best friend. If it's a health and fitness goal, obviously having that accountability buddy is going to keep you on track, because a lot of the time it's easy to justify to yourself or make excuses to yourself of why you might not feel like doing it that day. I don't have time, or this and that. And what happens is, as soon as you break that momentum you start to build, it can spiral really quickly.
Yeah.
It's like compounds over day, and then you just all of a sudden you stop doing the steps that you need to, or the daily non-negotiables, in order to achieve that goal. And you can justify it very easily to yourself of why it's okay as well. So if it's not in a buddy, it's like, well, accountability from a coach. If it's health and fitness related, or if it's business related, business coach, someone that's going to give you the education on how to achieve it, or help create the steps, but also keep you accountable from a week to week or a month to month basis, and making sure that you're applying what you're learning and putting it in place and ticking the boxes each week or each month.
So I know one of my videos lately got a lot of traction around like mothering and goals and how to achieve them. So I wanted to kind of delve into the details of like, how do I actually make being a mum, being an athlete, and being a businesswoman work? And it really comes down to like being really organized. I have like a plan A and I have a plan B always. And the plan A is like, if things go well, if Luna isn't sick, if we have all of the daycare and stuff available, then that's perfect. Plan B is like, what happens if Matt does not exist, if he's out doing stuff? Like, I usually make my plans around, like, plan B is usually around the fact that Matt's not there, because sometimes he's out in appointments and I can't always rely on him, and that is kind of a good thing. Like, you can't always rely on the people around you, so you have to make plans to be able to adapt. Therefore, you'll always be able to achieve what you need in the absence of people around you. And what that usually includes is like knowing that my gym has a creche and that I can get there during those creche times and get the training in, or like in the presence of someone there, Matt can take Luna if she's sick or whatever. But like, touch wood, she's very rarely sick, but we also look after her health and well-being, so that's fine. But I just make sure that I'm super organized. I'm super organized in terms of, I know when I'm working, I know when I'm training, I know when I'm doing my cardio, I know when I'm, eating. Like, my day's blocked out in terms of what I'm doing. And I think a lot of people come into the week and they just they go with the flow of like, they don't really know what they're doing. They just kind of go, oh yeah, I'll train sometime this week. And that's just not good enough if you have certain goals that you want to achieve. Like, you do need to be like, I'm training at 2 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or I'm training at 8 o'clock at night, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm gonna make that work no matter what. And that may mean that you train really early. And I know that we have clients and mums and dads that train at 3 a.m. in the morning to get ready, to go home, to do the stuff with their kids, to go to work. And some people may think that's drastic, but in reality, those people are achieving what they want. They feel good about themselves. They feel confident because they have committed themselves to their goals and they're making it work. So like, you can call that what you want, but that person's just doing what they want to do. Or they're training really late. And again, like, we could say like, oh yeah, well, that's cutting into your sleep. Well, not if they're getting still a good 7 hours sleep. But like, in reality, who cares if it's like cutting into a little bit of sleep if they're still achieving what they want to achieve and they feel good about it. So
Yeah, they're maximizing all the other variables
Yeah.
like nutrition, stress management, and keep like spending time with the family, still achieving their goals, and they sacrifice a little bit of sleep, not every day. When I say a little bit of sleep, an hour here or there,
Yeah.
it's not going to be the be all end all. Obviously sleep is very important, but you still want to be able to achieve everything and not make excuses as to why you haven't.
yeah.
All right, guys, some controversial questions. You ready? Thoughts on obese kids? Who's to blame?
Look, I think there's like, it's multifactorial, right, when it comes to obesity. Like, we're not just looking at what they're eating, it's like their environment, how they're brought up, what they're doing on a daily basis. But ultimately, like, it is hard being a parent, especially when you're doing it right. And that means you are in control of that child's diet 100% of the time until they're at least 9 or 10, right? Like, or like whenever they start feeding themselves.
Yeah.
But like, we have the option every day to feed Luna lollies, chips, chocolates, and that would be so easy. It would be like she would obey all of our commands if we did that for her. Give her ice cream every day, but we don't, and she kicks off because she goes, I want ice cream, or I want this for breakfast, and you're like, well, no, honey, because it's 8 o'clock in the morning. But
And it's hard listening to her upset,
Yeah.
you know, and then
so it can be so easy to give her that, and I guess like a lot of parents would, because they just want their child to be quiet and they want their child to like them.
yeah, be their best friend
their
instead
best
of being
friend.
a parent. Like, there's a big difference. So being a good parent is hard, like Emily said. Ultimately, to answer that question, I'm going to say it's the parent's fault. Absolutely. You have full control. It's your job to put them in the best position in life, and whether that's obviously, well, health is going to be a big one, you know. So controlling what they eat, what's available. We could talk about what Emily said before, the environment, the socio-economic status is a big one. You know, eating healthy, fresh food costs quite a bit, but Emily brought up a good point before. Like, you go to Aldi, go to different Woolworths when they've got specials on, buy in bulk. You can save money
Costco.
there. You know, look at your expenses in other areas. Are you going out, are you smoking as a parent? Are you drinking alcohol? That you could be cutting costs there.
We
and
can do,
utilising that.
actually, it would probably be good to do like an episode on like eating well within a budget, because I've done this my entire life. Like, we haven't always been flush for cash, and I did, competing alongside working multiple jobs, and it wasn't easy, but like, there is a way to be able to feed your family on a budget. But also, like, it's more than that. Like, I would rather take away from another point of my area of my life to be able to give my child the best nutrition. And
It's just building their immune system, setting them up for long-term health, longevity, you know. It starts right at that early age, you know, building that immune system, building that gut health, and then like exercise. That's the parents. Like, don't let them sit on devices all day.
Yeah.
Again, it's easy to put device in their hands. Let them sit there in the afternoon, in the morning. Get them out to the beach.
And
put
we
them
know
in
this
sport.
because we
You know, get 'em
also
moving.
have been in the position where, like, you get up in the morning, sometimes we just want a bit of a rest, but we're like, oh, here, watch some TV. But it can become a really vicious cycle of them getting up and just sitting in front of TV for a couple of hours instead of getting out and getting
And
about.
I think the big one is parents, we must lead. Lead by example.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not eating healthy, if you're not exercising, that's the environment you've already created for your kids. That they're seeing that. They're taking everything in. So you want to create that. That is the norm for them, to see their parents eating healthy, eating micronutrients, fruit, vegetables, protein, you know, going for a walk, you know, getting out of the house, not sitting around being lazy, because unfortunately that's just going to set you up for failure in life.
And we can definitely see why, like, there are a lot of obese children, because there are a lot of adults that don't know how to feed themselves.
Yeah.
And we get this every day in coaching. People coming to us, like, they have no idea what they're doing with their nutrition, but also they haven't done their own research or their own education, which is quite easy these days, especially with the
Very accessible.
plethora of information out there. So, you know, as much as we want to blame, not having enough education or whatever, there is so much out there for free to be able to educate yourself around nutrition.
Yeah, and it's not too late. If you're a parent watching this, and we all make mistakes, all of us, you know, but there's always time to make changes and improvements.
Yeah, because you are their biggest role model, whether you like it or not. All right, back in the kitchen, we are going to get into meal one for the day. So Matt usually has some eggies with some steak and some vegetables. I'm gonna make my new egg pizza that I found off Instagram, which has actually been incredible. Something about like ending this build is that I have not felt hungry whatsoever. So like no food has really fazed me at all, which is completely new to me, because I thought that I was like an eater, right? Like I could eat everything.
Has not been the case.
Has not been the case. You realize that like it is really hard to consistently get in like 3,000 plus calories over time. And this obviously impacts your hunger hormones, which say to your body, I'm not hungry at all, I don't want to think about food. So I've been trying to be a little bit more creative with my meal types to kind of make me feel like I want to eat food. So I'll show you what this looks like.
Alright, so I have 3 whole eggs, guys. Right there, and then the egg whites. We use the pure egg whites because I'm lazy and it's the easy option. So throw that on there. 3 whole eggs. 200 ml of egg white. I'm not going to get 200 ml out of this, but
So put Z tortilla in the pan. Look, this should be like a smaller pan, but I don't really have a choice right now. That's all I got. I don't even know if I can put this in the oven, but I do.
works.
Shit. This is actually a really good one if you have kids and they want something fun.
Egg pizza.
Egg pizza. Oops. So I'm gonna have 3 eggs as well. I try to have a good amount of my calories in the morning, and actually research says that it's better for you.
Yeah, early on in the day. Eggs, great source of fat, great source of protein there as well.
A lot of people are real scared of the yolks, but the yolks are actually
Got all the goodness.
the best part of it. So yes, it has higher fats. That's probably what people are worried about. They're like, it's gonna blow up my fats, but
Fats are still good, aren't they?
they're good quality fats, guys, so don't be scared of the yellow parts. This is actually what you're meant to froth milk with, but Muscle Nation.
Alright, so this is a little hack here. Vegetables, micronutrients. There goes the mushrooms. These Asian vegetable mix. I love these. This is what I've been putting in my eggs, my omelette, and my scrambled eggs, whatever I decide to do. First meal a day, getting plenty of micros in.
Nutrients. So I've put a few pieces of vegetables in there, but not a lot. I gotta put 80 grams of rice in. Gonna get some carbohydrates into my day. So I think I already said this, but in like a holding phase. So this is essentially like my maintenance, which is 2,600 calories. This meal is around 500 calories. It's not my biggest of the day, but one of the biggest. Very confused as to where the capsicum has gone. I didn't put them anywhere. A little bit of mushrooms in there. And then all you do, put it in the oven. Wow, I gotta take this out first. Ah!
It's on fire!
It's on fire!
Quick, get the fire extinguisher!
I don't know what to do with it.
Just shake it.
I didn't know.
Wet cloth, wet cloth. No, don't put water on it, wet cloth.
What do you mean?
Quick, you're gonna set this.
Oh my god, how did they burn on fire just then?
Can't take her anywhere, guys. Can't burn the house down.
Oh well. So usually I get a little bit of work done before we do like the coffee and the breakfast and stuff that helps me feel a little bit on top of the day. So I just have a few messages that came through around like not getting access to the app and things like that. So just a tidy up of things. But today I have client check-ins as we do most days except for Wednesdays. So they usually only take a few hours in the morning and then we're done for the day, which is bliss. Because we have other coaches, obviously, that we delegate work to as well. Ow! Oh, that got my head!
How'd it come out?
Look, it's been better. We'll get it.
Look, I would do it. I'd go.
And
We'll
you know
figure out
what
a
the handy thing is that I just put it in there and then I get it out and it's done. Like,
Now, I know it's something our daughter would eat, so it'd work well.
I put feta in it yesterday, which is delicious, but I just don't have the fats to... It kind of came out the bottom, it blew out its bum a bit there, but that's alright.
And that's what we call a egg pizza.
Eggy pizza. And really, you can just put whatever you want in it as well.
Let's talk about sauces and
Yeah.
how many hidden calories can be found in those.
Yeah, if you guys aren't tracking them, you're going to be in for a shock. So especially anything to do with like mayonnaise type, where there's eggs and stuff involved, high in fat. So I've seen that often with my clients, not track sauces and go, oh, it's only a little bit of sauce. And we go, all right, take a photo, send me through the sauce that you're using, let's have a look. And that's actually tracking in, and it's a big surprise to them just how dense. And one little bit of sauce on one meal ain't going to break the bank. But if you're doing that across 3 or 4 meals, that same sauce, it's going to add up across the week.
Yeah, it's like, I think in this one,
especially-
there's like 120 calories per serving, which is like the full fat mayo.
What was that? And when you say serving, like 10 mil?
Yeah, so no, it's like 27 grams or something.
27 grams,
25,
which
or
is
25 mil. So it's
Not much.
not much. But then there's like 1/6 of the amount in this one. So like, it's not about saying that full fat anything is bad. It's just about going, what do I have room in my calories for? Being smart about the choices.
Exactly, and you can find some, if you're in a calorie deficit, you can find some really good low calorie sources. Well, you don't expect anyone to be, especially our clients, including myself, eating plain chicken breast, plain steak. Like, use some seasonings, use some lemon juice, use some sauce. It's what Emily said. If you can make it fit into calories and macros, then go for it.
Yeah.
Is this the same with like cooking oils and stuff like that? Like what sort of oils do you guys use?
Another sneaky way, if you're in a calorie deficit, you start to plateau, things like that, like drinks, and like what Jordan just said is cooking. So if you're like drowning your food that you're cooking in oil, obviously again, olive oil is a great source of fat, but it's calorie dense. So if you are drowning your food or you're cooking it in oil, it's going to add up, and then sneaky calories. So
And really, like, we don't actually track like our oil. And a lot of people will be like, oh my God, you're like, there's calories in it. Yes, but we have the same thing every day. So it's a
variable that remains the same.
Yeah, it's a variable that remains the same. So like,
But
if
we also don't cook every meal
in it,
with
we just
olive
do like one squirt. So
Yeah, spray. So we take the olive oil out of the bottle and put it into the spray one, just because then you're less likely to use more olive oil because it'll spray the pan as opposed to just pouring it into the pan.
yeah.
Smart little hack.
Yeah.
I want to see this pizza review.
I haven't tried rice in it, so it looks a bit strange, so that's okay.
Leave a comment below, guys. Would you try Emily's egg pizza?
I'm going to say that I should have put the rice more into the egg because the top rice is a bit hard,
It's crispy. Got a bit of crunch, bit of texture.
It's so fun, so good, yeah. All right, so with the new year approaching, there will be so many trends or quick fixes or fad diets popping up, and I know that they are so tempting because they're promising like 10 kilos in 5 weeks. Who wouldn't like to lose 10 kilos in 5 weeks?
It's definitely achievable as well, especially if you do that with us. Let's make that clear. But for a lot of the other companies that don't do it, it's a cookie cutter program, the approach, which still will work at times. But the issue with these quick fixes, which is what we want to point out, majority of the time, I'm not going to say every time, majority of the time, is it's not sustainable. You'll get that result if you're disciplined enough and committed enough. But if you don't have the education around how you achieved it, what are you going to do after you finish?
And we're talking about quick fixes like juice cleanses or
Man shakes.
or like the 1 meal a day thing, whatever that's called. 800 calorie a day type situations. Intermittent fasting when done incorrectly. Like, there are so many of them and they are so shiny and brilliant and they promise the world. But like Matt said, like when you are choosing a diet type or a diet tool, I probably like to call them, like you need to think, is this tool going to be sustainable even on my worst days? Even on the days when I'm craving something or I have my cycle, I'm tired, I haven't slept, like can I sustain that on this day? And that's the diet tool that we need, because if we can't, then it's going to be something that's unsustainable and therefore we're going to end up where we started essentially.
Yeah, and that's essentially what happens. You just fall back to right back down the bottom where you started and the cycle begins again.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, education is key. Understand the process, understand what you're doing, understand how it works, and from there you're able to apply it and integrate that into your lifestyle, which then is going to be sustainable over a period of time for you to continue getting results or to maintain your results.
And I think the biggest thing is like to ask yourself if you're choosing something or choosing a way of like losing weight, which is what probably people will be going for, is like, is this healthy? And like we know in ourselves whether something's healthy or not. When we're looking at a juice cleanse, like we know that's not healthy, but we may think, oh, that's gonna get me where I want because Susie did it and she lost 10 kilos. But in reality, like that's a question we need to ask ourselves. Is this a healthy approach to weight loss? And also like one thing that I always like to drag back to is, especially if you're a parent, would I like my child seeing me do this and would I like them doing this? So like, that's another question to ask yourselves. Because the way that we get our clients to lose like 10 kilos in 10 weeks or 7 kilos in 7 weeks or a kilo every week is through really healthy, sustainable ways of dieting. That doesn't include juice cleanses or liver cleanses or
Hours of cardio.
hours of cardio.
We
Yeah.
tailor the approach to their lifestyle, what's going to work best for them, and they have ongoing support and education from us or our other coaches, our team coaches, along the way from week to week.
Yeah.
And that's wrap vlog 1, fam. Very nice. Now look, if you get value out of watching us and some insight, then, oh my, wait, that's not right. What should I say?
If you guys like watching these videos, get value from it, or have any questions,
You want us to continue this,
Yeah.
which we
pop
would
them
like.
in the comment below.
Yeah, throw some comments down, ask us some questions because we can use that as well as content, providing the answers to them questions. And like and subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your next door neighbour.
Tell your grandma.